Hello, Mikel.
Hi, Gary.
Can I start off, and I know probably you didn't know Alex Minger very well personally, but obviously he meant a lot to the club in his time here. Just some reaction from the club to the sad news this week.
Well, some very sad news, obviously. So we want to send Alex, his family, everybody that was part of his journey in his life, our condolences and our love, obviously, because it was shocking news and difficult one to take.
Obviously, it puts everything into perspective, but we have got a big football match now to talk about. And in terms of any injury updates, I guess the one we haven't had an update on recently was Noni, who came off on Wednesday, looked like a knee problem. How's he?
Well, we have another training session tomorrow, so he didn't look that bad after the game, and he was quite positive. He's a player that pushes through pain, so I'm hopeful that he can be available, but we have to wait and see if he's able to train tomorrow.
With Bukayo obviously also a last-minute decision, could you have potentially a problem on the right-hand side?
We'll have a solution. So whatever happens, we are so used to this decision, unfortunately, for various reasons. So whatever happens, we'll have the right solution there.
And the other three I haven't mentioned, Martin Ødegaard, Jurrien Timber, Riccardo Calafiori, any update on those?
Yeah, we will try again. Some players are quite close, but yeah, the turnaround is short, so we will try tomorrow to push everybody, and if they're in good condition, they will be part of us, and if not, they won't. They haven't been in the last few weeks, unfortunately.
So you're not ruling any of those out, definitely?
Bukayo is out, that's for sure.
Oh,
the rest, let's see.
Just to clarify, Mikel Arteta still a little bit away.
Out as well, yeah.
Just a reflection, really, on a great week in terms of reaching a semi-final of the Champions League. Second time you've done that in 2 seasons. Only one of the teams in England, 6 teams, to go that far. That must have given a boost around the place.
It was a great night. It really gave us a boost because to be part of those top best European clubs is a big thing, and we haven't been that often there, so we really value what we did. We give huge credit to the players for what they've done, and that has to use that fuel, that energy that gave us for Sunday, for the big game that we have to play.
That fuel, that energy, that fire that you were speaking about, fire not fear. And was there a little symbol of a fire, a little fire started in the training ground, just to kind of illustrate what you were talking about this week?
Every game we use different themes to try to prepare the game in the best possible way, and that depends on what we do.
Is it your idea, the players?
The best ones are the players' initiatives. That's the ones I love the most.
This game is obviously a massive game. That's why so many here. Where does it sit for you, though, in terms of the massive games that you've already been in charge of, with Arsenal's Champions League semi-finals, etc.? Is this the biggest game potentially?
It's certainly the most important one because it's the next one. So we have earned the right to be in this position, to be challenging, and with the possibility to win and the opportunity to win on Sunday, arguably against the best team and the best manager that this league has ever seen, and that's a huge privilege, and we cannot wait to play the game. We're going to prepare the game to win it, that's for sure, and we see that as a big opportunity for us.
Play the game to win it, but obviously a draw would be enough to make sure it's still in your own hands.
We're not going to spend 1 second talking about that. We prepare every game to win, that's where we are, and we're going to continue to do the same.
Can I just ask one more question on that? The biggest opponent on Sunday, is it going to be City or yourselves?
No, our team has to. No. Our team has to give us every tool, every element that we need to go and win it, and we will have a very, very strong opponent. We know that in front of us. But we've been doing it for 9 months. In every context, we have played a lot of games against them, and we know what we have to do.
From the Premier League.
Hi, Mikel. Good afternoon. After the Chelsea game, Pep said it's the mindset, not the tactics. Especially at this stage of the season, and on Sunday, how much the mentality, the resiliency, the attitude will be essential, not necessarily just tactics?
Yeah, I think it's a big part of that. I mean, everything plays a part in a match. Technique as well, obviously, because without that there is nothing. But there is obviously a huge part to play in that sense, and we have improved a lot in that area, and we have to show it on Sunday again, that's for sure.
Two players I want to ask you about, please. Declan Rice, first of all. After one of the goals you could see against Bournemouth, quite a few players gathered around him for leadership and guidance. He's been outstanding since he joined West Ham. This weekend, would that be the biggest Premier League game for him as an Arsenal player?
I don't know. I think it's unquestionable the role that he has at the club, in the team, and he has earned it day by day. So the impact that he's had on us and in our way of playing, the way we are competing, and where we are, it's a big part because of what he's done and what he's brought to the team as well. So Sunday is another opportunity for all our players to deliver that again.
Can I please ask you about Max Dalman, if you decide to start him on Sunday because of injuries or other reasons? How confident are you that he's ready for the occasion?
He will be ready, I'm sure. You throw him in any context, this kid, you know what he's going to be delivering, and he's shown that this season and in whatever games that we used him.
Alex, BBC.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Pep said that if Arsenal win on Sunday, the title race is over. Do you see it like that?
I don't know, there are 6 games to go. Obviously, it's a really important one for both teams, and it will incline the balance a little bit, but I mean, winning a game in the Premier League is so tough for everybody, so after this one, they will have still some very difficult matches for all of us, and we'll have to wait and continue whatever happens.
It's obviously a massive game during the season because where the teams are and the history between Arsenal and Manchester City and the Carabao Cup final being so recently. You've spoken before about how everyone at the club wants to win so badly. Same with the supporters. Can that tension come onto the pitch, or how do you thrive in those conditions?
No, I think that has to be the vitamin for everybody, you know. In whatever we do, that's going to be what elevates us to be better and to thrive us to be better, to have more hunger, more desire to do it, but never in a negative way.
Ian Talkswell.
Hi Mikel,
Hi,
how
Ian.
are you?
Good, thank you.
Who's under more pressure on Sunday? You because you're out in front, you've been out in front for a long time, or City because they're trying to catch you?
Who is more privileged to be in this position? I think that's the question.
Okay, who's more privileged to be in this position?
I don't know. I feel very privileged, so I don't know how Pep or Man City I feel. I feel very privileged to have earned the right to be in this position to play such a big and great game.
So I ask a question, then you re-ask it, and then when I re-ask it, you don't answer anyway. 6 injuries. You've got 6 injuries at the moment. This is not a great time, is it, to be going into a game of this magnitude with so many players out injured?
No, but we have coped with that all season, and if you look back at the stages and the players that we have missed for big periods, and where we are is not normal where we are. But we have coped with that because of our mentality and the solutions that we find, the way the players have stepped up in this moment, and we are where we are. We are still very strong, and we will remain the same way.
Finally, a player you know well, is the last time you'll be coming up against him, Bernardo Silva. He's leaving City at the end of the season. He's won 15 trophies, been there nearly 10 years. Just outline for us what a magnificent professional he's been, in your opinion, not mine.
Incredible player and incredible person as well. So first time I watched him live, it was at PSG Monaco. Straight away I fall in love with him. Not only the way he plays, the way he competes, the way he lives the game, the desire, the hunger that he has, and then obviously we spent 4 years together. He's a top guy. You see him in any circumstances, and he delivers always his very best. One of those players that I think is marks history in the Premier League.
Thank you. Art from Athletic.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Can I just ask on Bukayo, we've seen this week, obviously, with Hugo Ekitike at Liverpool getting an Achilles injury, how important it is to manage that kind of return, that because of how, I guess, how big those injuries can be for players when they happen.
Yeah, well, I don't know how Hugo's situation beforehand, but I take the opportunity to hopefully he recovers very soon because I think he's a tremendous player. And with B, yeah, we are handling to protect the player first of all, and then to perform as well as he possibly can, the earliest that we can possibly deliver that. So that's the challenge.
Has he been able to come back to train and do ball work, grass work?
He's starting to do some stuff, so let's see that progression, how quickly we can go through it and then wait. But at the moment, it's not available.
Matt was there.
Mikel,
Hi.
about Martin Ødegaard. We saw during the Bournemouth match the players sort of getting around him and trying to support him. And we saw when after he was man of the match the other day, they sort of celebrated that with him. Has there been a conscious effort to try and lift him recently?
Well, that's our responsibility to try to give tools to players to step up, to understand when they are not at their best what the reason is, to try to unlock that, and he certainly did that the other day.
And I guess we've spoken a lot about how much physically he's had to put in this season. Has it been a tough period for him mentally?
Well, I don't know, but when you see that reaction, it's because the players first of all value everything that he's doing for the team, and because the type of person that he is. And when someone reacts in the manner that he did in a quarterfinals in the Champions League to play at the level that he did, big credit to him.
Tom,
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
When you last played City in the cup final and they set up with that front four of Haaland, Cherki, Semenyo and Doku, it seemed like there was a real struggle to play through those four. How have you kind of gone back over that game and learned from it?
They've done it in the past. There are some moments that we are struggling, we didn't make the right decision. Sometimes that we break that press and then we didn't take advantage of that. Every tactic has its issues, its opportunities as well. And in relation to what they do, we will adapt and we'll do the same.
And can I ask you about Mosquera, because he's been a player that had to adopt different positions this season, playing internally and also, as we saw on Wednesday, at right back. What is it that drew you to him, and how impressed have you been with his adaptation this season at such a young age as well?
Well, that's one of the qualities that we liked about him. And when Andrea proposed the player, he knew him very well from Valencia, and we started to analyze him, and we need a player of that profile. And it's surprisingly positive the way he's done it, because to ask him to set in the Premier League at this level is one thing, to ask him to play in 3 different positions, regardless of the moment of the position, it's something else, and he's been phenomenal.
Charles from goal.
Hi Mikel, just on Declan and the captaincy, you said on Wednesday that the players made that decision. What did you mean by that? Was there another vote like in the summer, and if so, why was that?
No, because there is a captain, there is a vice captain, and after that there are 3 or 4, and the votes are very small. So at the end is they have to feel who is the best person to represent. It can be the moment, it can be the longevity that they've been at the club, and they decided that it was Declan. So great.
Does this have any sort of long-term significance for the captaincy? I presume when Martin's fit, he's still captain. And
I don't think so. No.
Okay, James, ESPN.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
How relevant is the Carabao Cup final and what happened to Sunday?
For us now, to learn from that game and the things that we want to change for the next one, and the pain that we felt afterwards in the right way on Sunday.
You were always obviously so respectful of Pep and of City, but I mean in that game, Ryan Cherki was doing keepy uppies with the ball in play, he was feigning injury, sort of going in the Arsenal facts. Do you use any of that as motivation?
No, I think every player has his way to express it, and you have to respect that. And it's part of football. You are allowed to do it, and you can react in the manner that you want. But I think the player has to be respected because he's entitled to those things.
And the last game up there, obviously that ended with Haaland saying, "Stay humble" to you at the end. Did you ever get to the bottom of that? What that was about?
No.
Did you ever speak to him about it? Or Pep?
If I have to talk about all the things that are being said on the pitch, I think we'll have some big meetings.
But it's quite unusual for a player to say that to
No,
a manager.
Not that much.
Have you heard worse?
Don't worry, the mics are coming in football, I don't know when, so that's one of the nicest things that you can get told.
Okay, we'll do the last couple of the Hazlight section. Firstly, Phil from PA.
Hi, Mikel. Just slightly following on from that, I suppose. Do you sort of expect that there will be that fireworks or rivalry on the pitch on Sunday, just because what's happened in previous times of that?
Well, I mean, it's obviously an extremely competitive match against top sides that are looking to win the Premier League. It doesn't get better than that, and that competition for sure is going to be seen on the pitch.
Would you sense maybe from your players that they'd like to get one over City, particularly more than perhaps maybe any other side?
Not in particular. It's about what we want and how we're going to get it done. and that's more than enough for us.
And just finally, I appreciate earlier you said you didn't want to Pep respond directly to Pep's comments that if they lose it's over, but do you feel that if you win it's at least a major step in the right direction?
I mean, winning at this stage, you are a bit closer. We win the first game in the semi-final of the Champions League, we're going to be closer, that's for sure, and that's why we want to win the game on Sunday, that's clear.
And in the ASLAR final, we'll go to Stefan from BG Norway.
Hi,
Hi.
Not surprising, I'm going to ask you about Martin Ødegaard. When you look at his season, with all the injuries and the setbacks, and also the responsibility he has being a captain here and for the national team, what does a season like the one Martin has had now reveal to you about a player? What does it tell you about a player, and what has it told you about Martin?
Well, I think I need to go back 5 years to talk about the player, because I think the sample is much bigger, and what Martin is giving to this club, to this team, to me in particular, it's huge. And injuries are part of football. He's been very, very unlucky this season, but his anger and desire to be with the team is there, and every time he plays, obviously, you see that difference that he makes for us.